We begin with new information about the apartment building demolition. The process is moving quickly, drastically changing the Davenport landscape. News 8's Joe McCoy joins us in downtown Davenport. Joe, what can you tell us tonight?
Yeah, John, crews have been working quickly all day. Still only the south side of the building remains. We can see inside to about 5 kitchens of people's units, but that's all of the building that is still standing. Now, every time a large portion of this building gets torn down, these huge plumes of dust come up into the air, and which is why crews are constantly pumping water onto that debris. But this afternoon, I spoke with a friend and one of the aunts of one of the men who died and asked them what their reaction is to the building being demolished.
It's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
Antoine Johnson was a close friend of Brandon Colvin, one of the 3 men killed in the collapse.
It's so emotional, you know. I hate to see it go with, you know, I wish it was still up and they did the repairs they're supposed to do.
Johnson wasn't the only one close to Colvin at the demolition site. Colvin's aunt, Johnny Woods, also watching along.
It all still feels unreal, and I said, besides the grief that an aunt would have, I think the whole Quad Cities is probably grieving, and they see it as unreal too.
Woods thinking not only about her nephew, but the sentimental items residents lost that money can't replace.
I heard a guy talking about he had lost his Army medals and all, and that just broke my heart. Or just as much as a driver's license or a birth certificate or people, that's more important than even the furniture.
Woods is still puzzled why the city initially scheduled to start demolition a day after the collapse.
I guess it makes me sad the way it was handled, you know, and that the very next day they're saying everybody's accounted for, and I know my nephew is under there, so it brings back a lot of that stuff when I see them tearing it down.
It hurt me to the core, you know, just knowing that, you know, could have been saved maybe if action would have been taken earlier.
While demolition only takes a few days, the rest of the process seems to have no end in sight.
It doesn't feel like the end, because my thing is I'm not sure if it's ever gonna end. You know, there's lawsuits. I know one day we'll heal from this, but it's like we're gonna have a healing process, and it's gonna be long.
The City of Davenport did clarify its statement from 3 days ago, saying that the building was going to be demolished in 2 weeks. They say the physical tearing down of the building will only take a few days, but it's the cleanup of the debris that will take several weeks. John?
All right, thanks, Joe. And as we continue to follow the demolition, you can find all of our coverage of the Davenport building collapse, including the latest information on the investigation, right on our website, WQAD.com.